But not a voting member, I'm just, I just love. Yeah, that's better off.
I like it here.
Yeah, get here.
Okay, should we start?
Why not?
Let's call this, actually, it's early, we can't start.
Oh, yes, there you go, it's 6:29.
Okay.
Oh, now it's 6.
Hey, here we go.
No, it's 6:30, we're good.
I said 6:20. I know.
You go by that spot, right? Is there a clock there? Oh, I guess not.
There.
Our cell phones and phones, our computers say 6:30.
All right.
I think that's what.
So this public safety and general government meeting will call to order. We have Sarah Papsky here, Marissa Marvelli, Ben Falk, and Mike Hamill are members of the committee. We have our president, who is here for fun, and our majority, Michelle Turkey, is also here. So let's get started. We start off, we're going to move the agenda around and go to the Dan Baker's appointment of the Board of Assessors first, so that people go home in the snow.
Yeah,
So go for it, Dan.
so Century Communication, we need to fill 2 vacant positions in our board assessor review. One would be a term ending 9/30/2029, and the second would be expiring 9/30/2030.
I printed the application.
Yeah.
If anybody, I sent it via email, does it look like it's a hard copy? I don't know, I mean, we have, probably not. Okay, I printed it. I'll take a copy here. Yeah, no, I had it, I reviewed it, I printed it.
So we have, then I know through the city's volunteer portal, where there's two people who did submit specifically for Morris's review. I don't know if the committee wanted to put anyone else forward. Just want to double check
Your
that.
questions are-
I had a candidate that said, no, thank you.
I
Okay.
have a person, but I don't know if they filled out the form.
I mean, it's, I don't think that's required. That's just double checking, these are the only 2 people that I had an opportunity to speak with. Both candidates seem very capable of being able to fill the position. They informed me that they'd be able to be there at the required time. Just to explain to you, I think I sent an email, the board assessor review definitely meets at least minimum the 4th Tuesday of every May. They may also need additional time to deliberate at the board's choosing sometime between the 4th Tuesday and July 1st to make the final deliberations. They may be called to action 2 additional times throughout the year for limited hearings for only specific people who have been noticed for example, an exemption removal. Typically, they will meet 2 to 3 times a year. For Morris's review, on agreements, they meet from 3 to 5 and 7 to 9. And then at their choosing for deliberation. Any candidate who is appointed is going to need to sit for the state required training that Ulster County Real Property holds annually. Any existing member can attend that training, but they're required to attend that training to be able to sit.
How long does the training take place?
It has been recently at the Ulster County Community College. They have an attorney specialized in real property tax, come in and do some training. It takes 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
So,
I do have a question.
yeah.
Can I just make a statement first?
Sure.
Just be careful, because we're in public meeting, of anything that shouldn't be said in public meetings, we can always go into executive session if needed.
So we want to talk about individuals. Should we go into executive session or not? I mean, they're going to be theoretically.
I mean, saying their name is okay, I think just going too far in,
Well, you
like,
have numbers, obviously.
yeah.
I mean, one of the candidates appears to be a building inspector.
Same question.
So my concern is where and not for the city, I hope.
I have this stuff.
I saw that, yeah.
I did get a question today whether they are current employees. They did check with civil service, asked if they were, they did not believe so if they were. I don't recall in my tenure here that this person that I think you're referring to was, I cannot guarantee that.
He's not on the current roster, I know that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's just New York State.
That was my only reluctance to, I wouldn't want to have a city employee sitting on the board of selectmen.
No. Yeah, I don't think we. I don't recall that ever happening.
Good, that's a good thing.
Yeah, sure. You know, in addition, I think it would be out of the ordinary. If you remember, assessments affect multiple taxing jurisdictions.
I'm keen concerned about the potential for an appearance of conflict of interest. But Mr. Kent.
Thanks, Bob. Dan, can you just explain to me exactly what the responsibilities of the board member will be?
Sure. The Board of Assessment Review is a quasi judicial board. They hear assessment complaints, any lawful complaint under real property tax law. There's a set of complaints that a person could undertake with regard to their assessment, whether it be the value, whether it be a homestead or non-homestead class, could be with regard to an exemption granted or not granted, or what portion of that exemption was granted. Those are the typical complaints. That board member I receive the complaint typically, they can't hand it to the board on the day. They will receive the complaint, review the complaint, hear any evidence from the complainant in open hearing right here in the chamber. And then also would hear my rebuttal with regard to that complaint. They would to deliberate in private. They're, like I said, they're a judicial board, like a judge and a jury, and then they deliver their findings to me. I place those findings on the assessment roll as required by law, and that is their responsibilities in a nutshell.
Now, going a little deeper into the woods, because nobody believes a meeting like that happy. What is the appeals process? Is there an appeals? Is that go to another?
That actually is the
That
first
is-
step of appeal.
Okay.
Right, with regard to assessment complaints, right? Anyone would first have to take that first step and file an official RP 524 with the board assessor review or my office, and I'm required to deliver it to the board, and then they're required to respond to it. After that, individual homeowner could, or property owner, a homeowner specifically, could follow that up with a small claims assessment review hearing. They could take the fork in the road. They could do an additional small claims assessment review hearing, or they could take the fork to Ulster County Supreme Court. So a homeowner has that ability, there's that additional small claims process. Any commercial property owner or landowner could then also, after the board assessment review, they have the right to go to Ulster County Supreme Court.
Thank you.
This is our phone?
Yes. This is
So-
the one committee that we are responsible for. Period. Yeah. You want to throw out the name of the person? You don't need to have an application.
Yeah,
Required. It's the
but you said there was another appointment coming up in March, right?
No, so we need to fill two for this assessment cycle. In August, there will be, in September, at the end of September, there'll be another opening, because there's 5 on the board, right? And they're staggered, they expire every year. So they're staggered. So we had a resignation that was going to expire in 29, and we have a new vacancy that expires in 2030.
Okay. I think they'd be okay with waiting, just because they were also had applied to the planning board.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and just to be clear, an existing vendor, our chairperson, who has done quite a good job, and they're not my work, right? This is the city's board. They act by themselves, their judicial board. He has done a good job. I personally, just for administrative purposes, base knowledge, would love to see him come back. So just want to put that out there. And he's the next expiration.
He's the September one?
He is, yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, this is,
What is the common denominator here with the board members that you do have? I mean, are they,
residents,
huh?
they're residents.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. No, they're not builders, they're not construction guys, they're not.
No, they're real estate persons who, residents, willingness to want to serve. My opinion, they've gone to take the education, they've delved into the subject matter, want to be able to do the job, and that's my determination. They have done a good job. You don't have to have.
Don't need that background.
No, I don't believe so. Is it helpful maybe to understand a complaint? Oh, my ex, my such and such in my house, a shingle's broken on my house. Well, roofer might tell you, well, okay, that's really, one shingle. Is that affecting value that much? But I think, any reasonable person, I think, also can make that determination as well. Or if a house is destroyed by fire, I don't think it really, for some reason I didn't take it off the roll. I think, these are, people, they're going to be presented with evidence, right? They don't necessarily need to go out and reappraise these properties. That's not their job. Their job is to, just like insurer would, in a car accident case or whatever, they don't need to know that. Myself and the complainant are there to explain what we feel is the evidence that they need to consider.
People don't want to go back.
Yeah, I think, I think the board has done a good job in respect.
Are there any industries or trades or folks that come from a certain background that don't work well, or can be kind of red flags?
I wouldn't say anything specific of where someone may work or the background. I just think the people that fit well understand the parameters and understand the job at hand. And I think that's the best person to be able to do that. These two applicants, I can't speak to that. Evidence will come out, but I think that the board that we have right now does do a good job with that. And I think going through the training and gaining experience would be helpful for them.
You're not with these guys.
I've only spoken with 513 on the phone one time, and that was today for about 5 minutes. First time, read his application. And then 508, I have spoken with on the phone with other assessment items in the past.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So in terms of their experience, do you feel that these two candidates would be a good complement to the existing board members?
I think there's a high likelihood they're going to be. Can't guarantee it, but I don't have any red flags that would say, okay, that's not good.
You said Marissa go first.
Okay, Marissa?
I would just say, I do personally know 513, and I encourage that person to apply. I don't know them super well, but what interactions I've had with them, I found professional, they're very organized and sharp.
Yeah.
And they're the sort of person you would want in government.
Yeah, it was a great conversation I had with that person today.
Yeah, I just a little background because many of you have not been through this process before. The fact that we had two people who applied who wanted to do this is really gratefulness, because a lot of times we really have to encourage people to serve. So the fact that they threw their hats in the ring. Thank you, Marissa, for helping with that. I wasn't sure. I didn't know that, but
I was worried we might not have any.
Yeah.
but I think this is great. So yeah, hopefully there'll be good additions.
I agree.
Let me ask a bad question.
Yeah.
What if they don't work out? Is there a process for
This council has the opportunity to evaluate their performance over the next 5 years, make a decision in 5 years.
Oh, really? That's before that?
I don't believe so, but there may be some administrative Article 78, but I don't know, I'm not familiar with that. That's definitely a question for council.
I would imagine if they don't show up to meetings, that would be a reason for them to not.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I have to find out that answer whether you have the authority to make another appointment, to replace someone. But I'm hopeful we don't have to go there. And I'm not getting that vibe from, speaking with these people.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion, I guess, to appoint.
I have some big reports for you, and I think one thing you do have to decide is, we have one expiration of September 30, 29, we have one expiration of September 2030, excuse me. So,
That's fine. So which one gets the longer term?
I'm gonna say go with 513 for the longer term, since we have at least one member who is vouching for the person.
Okay.
Just because otherwise it is flipping your claims, so that's what I would be in favor of, so everybody's okay with that.
all right, so maybe it's just gonna be one. And,
And you're doing 2 committee reports?
no,
Thank you.
and so I think you probably want to do the 29 expiration first, and then for the 23 expirations.
Well, entertain a motion to appoint Manny
Sartados.
to the Board of Assessment Review for the term ending September 30, 2029.
Also move.
Okay,
I'll second.
Any discussion? No. No discussion? Okay, yes?
No.
Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, thank you. Now for the, for the second one, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Corin Thomas to the Board of Assessment Review with a term ending 9/30/2030.
All motion.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Done, thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad we have 2 candidates. So
Yeah.
I was saying, it's really hard to get people to
Yeah.
apply for the.
Yeah. I didn't want to wire me. Come on.
If you don't want to keep those applications, return them to me. I don't want to leave them on the table. If you want to keep them, you can take them. I'm just gonna recycle them at home.
Have a great night.
Thank you. And now we have Emily has appeared.
Yes.
Who will give us a report on the CAC.
Yes, I'm Emily Hauser, I'm the chair of the CAC. I'm sorry I'm late. Sometimes I get here and you guys are not. Anyway, okay, so I'm the chair of the Conservation Advisory Council, so for the new people here, welcome to the Common Council. And the Conservation Advisory Council has been around for 15, 20 years. We will be giving you an annual report next time. We're in the middle of doing, I'm just going to report off on what we're doing, but we work on open space and natural resources inventory, and we worked on getting a community preservation plan set. So we're pretty much involved in anything that's related to the environment, and we're very dedicated people. We are looking for new members. We had one person not return from this past time, and we can have 9 members. So we are looking for new members. And so I just wanted to report out on some of the things that we have been working on, or that we will be working on. First of all, we've been involved with air quality monitoring for quite a while. And there's an air quality monitor on the top of the Andy Murphy Center. But just this week, we put another one on that is at street level because we are capturing the pollution. And this is mostly 2.5, they call it 2.5 ppm. These soot particles that are so tiny that they can go right into your lungs and get into your bloodstream and cause problems with your heart and other organs. It's pretty deadly. And it's mostly from wood smoke, but it's also from just combustion of fossil fuels. Anyway, so we wanted to have one at kind of nose level. So there's one on the drain pipe at the Andy Murphy Center, right by the bus stop, the shelter. It's just a little tiny thing, and apparently if the air quality is bad, it has a different color. So you can check that out. And also, you can find it on an app called Just Air. I personally have not been able to get Just Air on my phone, but maybe you guys get. So, and then from the monitoring of the street, most of the time, well, I would say like this winter when it's so cold, people may be burning more wood for heat. And the other big peaks are the forest fires and 4th of July because the fireworks put these pollutants into there. So that's one thing, and we are part of the Hudson Valley Air Quality System. Also, we have developed a native plants guide, and it's instead of just handing it out, we are just letting people know where they can find it on the website. And the idea is to encourage both developers and any property owner to plant native plants. So we're working on some postcards, which we have used our budget for. And this is the back of the postcard, but there's a QR code to get the native plant. So I thought I would just sort of pass that around and you guys can use it for your law. The other thing that we're following up on is there's a quite old law. It's from 2006. And it's managed, it's a county law, and it's managed by the Department of Health. And if you've ever seen these signs, these are part of the signs. These are part of the law. And we're going to try to work with the Department of Health, County Department of Health, is the group that enforces this law. And there's a couple things. One, in any store that sells pesticides, and there's all sorts of different, it's mostly, I would just say, like stuff you would put on your lawn. There's many other pesticides that don't go under this. But anyone who puts 100 square feet, which I will say is like smaller than this room, has to put these on. First of all, the retail establishment has to put a sign out saying that there is this law. It's called neighbor notification law. And so they have to have a sign that says this happens. So this would be anyone, the big boxes or a small store that sells these kind of things. And then these are put out by, you usually think of them as professionals. The professionals do it. Anyone has to put this out. Anyone who puts it on more than 100 square feet. So this is any property owner, they're supposed to put this out. And then the privates are supposed to notify any adjacent property owners by mail or phone 48 hours ahead of time. So these are things that we just want to make sure that happens in the city of Tennessee.
Where do people get the signs from the store?
Well, we're hoping the stores sell them, otherwise they have to order them somewhere.
Oh,
yeah. And then the other big thing, personally for me, is that you can never see the date or handwrite it somewhere it's very hard to see. and then they leave them up for like 3 months. And one of these I found in the middle of the winter. So they should be removed because no one has any idea then what they're. So anyway, we're working with the health department to see how in Kingston we can make this more aware. I also wanted to remind you, we have anti-idling law and we keep trying to push that out. So in the winter, it doesn't really apply because there's a part in there where it says if the temperature is below 25 degrees for more than 20 X amount of hours, it doesn't apply. So it's pretty much all winter, but there's two parts of that enforcement, and we've been one is the parking staff and the other is police, and they're kind of different ways that they can be enforced, but they do warn people that there is that law. So we're checking on keeping it going. Midtown Thriving, where their report is the comments are due the 31st, I believe. They made a report. We're following that. We also always follow planning projects to see if there's anything that we would like to comment on. They don't have to take our advice, but we submit comments, and mostly about native plants or if it's in a floodplain or like energy conservation and those kind of things. Right now, there's not many that we're following, maybe the Bluestone Code. We're also following the landfill leachate. I think the Common Council submitted a resolution about landfill leachate because landfill leachate is being processed by water treatment plants. There was just a training basically, the DEC just did cover that. They're going to put out rules for landfill leachate that's going to be required that the landfills themselves would treat the leachate on site, and it'll be. So we're moving forward on it, and that was resolution is basically, saying let's hear from you about that. I also wanted to say that Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency has come out with a plan, alternative to landfilling, and I think that's just something that everyone's going to watch very closely. And I am also the representative for the Ulster Climate and Environmental Management Council, and Mark Ryder from the Resource Recovery Agency is speaking at our meeting, which Charlotte has experienced. So I'll be going over there. I'm going to leave that, you can have this. And then I just wanted to say that also this Clean Power Guide, which is really good, it's all about how to get energy conservation in your own home or whatever. And Crown just had a party right over here, by the way. And so I'm going to leave these for you, but I just want to point out that I'm on page 12. So these are for you. And that picture was taken many years ago. So there are any questions?
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. And typically, on our monthly meeting, Emily comes and gives us an update about what's going on with the CFC. Will you autograph these later on?
Yeah, this is a great picture.
Yeah, the doctor did. I didn't call the project.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
By the way, my panel went on in 2008, but they're almost 20 years old.
Wow,
Yeah,
good for you.
It's still working, right?
they're still work. Well, not right now. They're 30.
Right, not today.
Oh, right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, man.
Ulster County Community Action Parking, Steve Shabbat's last hurrah.
Take this one because I promised Steve I'd move this one because we canceled a couple meetings at the end of the year. This didn't move forward, so he asked, and I promised we would consider it, although when I sent it to our engineer, her questions, or for his report, he came back with more questions. So,
And a suggestion.
and a suggestion, so I'm going to move forward with getting that, because we'll stay on this old business.
Okay. Just by way of, his suggestion was that it not be a no parking area, but that it be done with an executive order, which really, you need to have a conversation with the mayor about that.
Right.
So in other words, it would be whenever the drop-off time is.
Which,
I see.
might be problematic for the mayor, I don't know, it's up to him, I would say.
Yeah, so I'll have more information next
Okay.
month.
The next one is an ADA parking request on Elmendorf Street, that's mine. I have it, I have this placard. The engineer's okay with it. So I'll entertain a motion to establish a handicap parking space on 245 Elmendorf Street.
Okay, I will provide a motion for you.
Okay. Any second?
I'll second for you.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. The second one is an ADA parking request for the corner of Greenkill Avenue and Pine Street. And the 209 Greenkill Avenue is the address. The resolution to establish a handicap parking space at 209 Greenkill Avenue. Pine Street side of the corner lot is what the engineer says, and I think we should. Who's that in there?
Is that clear? And this one,
209 Greenkill Avenue.
Pine Street.
Pine Street side of the corner lot. What he said.
That was John or Howard?
Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
Just because this goes to DPW,
Yeah, right.
and they need to understand where to put the signs.
Can I have a motion?
Hold on, so that I understand it, is it on Green Hill or is it on Pine Street?
It's at 209 Greenkill Ave.
But the sign is going to be on Pine Street?
The Pine Street side of the corner lot. So it's going to be on Greenkill Avenue, but that side of the street.
That side of the street, okay.
Good.
If our engineer says that it's good,
I just sent you.
Yeah.
right? No, it's not good.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mike.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So, now old business. You want to talk about this old business? You want to talk about this or not?
Well, I think this does need to go to laws and rules, because I pulled up the chapter,
There's not a lot.
and what was it?
But yeah, there's.
There's a lot that needs to be worked, and our whole idea with the code is that I'm going through each chapter and doing the whole thing instead of piecemeal. And if you were at laws and rules, that's what I talked about. So I know we have to fix this, but I was just reading through just to see if there's anything else that we should be addressing, and there definitely is, like, violations are $15
And were you talking about the,
in this chapter.
okay,
For breaking this far.
Yeah, $15.
It's not part of the fee schedule.
right.
I mean, our annual fee schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't
Supposed
get
to do
parking.
this?
No, I mean, and plus, of course, as you know, I'm also going through to try and change the language, to keep it legalese, but a little bit, to find it happy balance. And just reading through this, I think that this chapter, I can prioritize it. I finished chapter 1.
My only suggestion is that one of the suggestions John made, I think it should be broken into two pieces, because you have to update the chapter. But the definition of trucks, I think, is an important thing we could solve if you'd like.
We did that.
We did that.
We did that, yeah.
You solved it, it's not consistent.
Right, we just
Right.
had to change, we changed it in the code, in section 405
To say,
to say, it was 25 feet.
no,
Yeah, and the actuals, it was,
no, not 25 feet. John's suggestion is 10,000 pounds unloaded, vehicle with 3 or more axles,
Yes.
8 unit of tractor trailer.
Yeah.
No length required,
No length required.
no length.
yeah, under chapter, yeah. Weight of 10,000 pounds unloaded, any vehicle with 3 or more axles or any unit of a tractor.
Right.
Right, and then
Yeah, because remember, I thought you had to sit there and unload the truck and then.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
Right, that would be hard to do.
So we had added that definition into, the zoning code in 405.
So that also is in 376.
Right.
It's not in 390 yet. So 390 right now is in conflict.
But, chapter 4, section 405 is in conflict too, because it says no overnight parking, yet parking at trucks. And
What
here
is
it says, at any, not allowed at any,
Well, no, it
so
says,
spam offers in residential.
okay, all right, so you.
So if we start, so 405 is 376
At 390,
and 390.
right,
And I'll double check if there's any more, but what we're looking for is definition of trucks.
Right.
To match.
And when they're the times,
And
is consistent.
does anybody care which one I do first?
no, I don't.
Now, can you give me a brief description of 390? Because I don't have 390. I have 376.
390 is vehicles and traffic, so there's parking meters, municipal parking lots, it covers traffic regulations. But it's just, it would be in the definition section, that's what we're talking about now, but it's, That's it. Yeah, the traffic regulations.
390's got two things that pertain to trucks. A, which talks about no truck, bus, or trailer combination with a weight of blah, 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 can be parked on any city street or highway.
Okay.
And B says you can only park it for half an hour, you can stop it for half an hour if you're doing a delivery or for a conference.
Okay.
And it doesn't say delivery, it should, it just says comfort, by the way.
That would be the hardest thing for me is to cross-reference
Right.
the chapters.
So A and 390, 71, A and B. We're done?
Yep.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
One second, it wasn't on the agenda, but, I know that Ben and Mike were interested in looking into some, solutions regarding e-bikes in the city.
I feel like you're gonna send me an email, so
Right.
we just, I don't want to.
Yeah, I just want to bring it up, and I
Tricky one.
also want to, just say thank you to DPW,
Oh, they did a great job, they're doing a
Yeah.
great job.
Great job.
It's about public safety, yes, so. I know, it would be appreciated if members of the community were diligent about keeping their sidewalks shoveled.
And not into the street?
Yeah, not
Pushing
into the street.
So it's-
Yeah, so, it's really difficult for people with mobility issues to navigate, the sidewalks right now, so anything everyone can do to help that out. Much appreciated. And if there's a way we can, I sent a letter, an email to DPW about it, to Ed about if we need to start, giving out citations to people that.
For the sidewalk?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they started that yet, but their ordinance officer, Pam,
Will do
she'll
that.
go there. So if you know of an area, you can call
Okay.
W and,
So people put that into 311, well.
correct.
Okay.
And Pam will go out, check it out, take pictures,
Okay.
and then issue a ticket.
Okay, great.
Which has been my advice to people that have called to complain, is call 311 first.
Right.
And then, we'll talk about it from there. At least get it documented and get it squared away.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people believe that it's just gonna magically, that we'll see it and then do something about it, so we're not the council, but
Right.
But they need to know.
And I did see an email about the intersections, the corners.
Yeah.
The corners of intersections, and I was actually walking around by two intersections today, and you couldn't get through them. So was that the responsibility of the property owner who's on the corner? So that would be.
They'll have to clean, the DPW will clean it up on the road.
On the road, no, this is
sidewalks.
this was, right,
That's the property owner.
yes, the property
Yeah.
owner. So that could be a.
All the way to the.
Miles of sidewalk in the city. Yeah. Okay, so.
I know, but that would be a call to 311, yes.
For enforcement.
For enforcement.
Yeah, they won't actually go out and do it because they don't stop.
Miles of sidewalk.
Who's in charge? So along Broadway, there's the flashing pedestrian crossways. so I had to go to a meeting last night. Most of the pedestrian pathways are completely blocked. Whose responsibility is that to clear those
You mean on the
on
sidewalk?
the sidewalk?
So,
That is whoever owns that property, so if it's a
Okay.
business, they have to clear.
Okay.
it's like a crosswalk. If a crosswalk at the corner, you'd have to make access to it.
Right.
So it's just a crosswalk,
Okay.
mid-block.
Well, it's advantageous to the business owner to make sure you don't get in his business.
Correct. Yeah, so it is whoever owns that property.
Yeah, it's all hard. I mean, like people park and to get the meter, I mean, I'm told.
Well, like the way around, I know.
Yeah.
But amazing job, though. That was so much snow.
Yeah, as I was getting into my car, we crossed paths today and, he said that they are running out of space to put the snow.
Yeah, there's some Bristol.
Yeah.
Where they dump it. He said they now have to use instead of a dump truck, they're using a dip, like just to get it up.
Yep.
Yeah, a loader.
Yeah.
It's no, not nothing,
It's not building.
Fire hydrant.
Right, fire.
yes, I saw that I think both of you put something on social media, so that was great.
Right.
So is that water department? I
It's
get
hard, we don't normally have the issue for this long, but it's very worried that the snow will become compacted and then even harder to get to those sites, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think if the fire hydrant is on somebody's property, it's their responsibility to clear it out. I think that's right.
But they're typically not. And like, there's one there's one in front of my house, I dig it up.
Right,
You know, I think if you're a property owner, you should dig it out because it's nice to have your fire hydrant accessible. If not, I saw the fire department doing it.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it tends to be the water department's job, but they only have like 9 guys to do 800.
But I saw the fire department doing it, so.
Yeah, I didn't even know to drop it off.
Yeah, officially, but there's so much snow that everybody's doing sort of all hands on deck.
Actually, rather than Beacon, if you didn't clean out your fire hydrant, you could get a ticket for it.
That's what, I think,
It might
yeah.
be done, it might be in the code to do that.
Yeah.
You need a reward system, like.
Some kind of system, and another council member who's not here reached out about reached out to me and Ed about plowing a driveway for a person, and of course we said we can't,
We don't do
no, we
that.
can't do that. But, you know, and I was talking to my colleague in Albany, and he's like, but if they're elderly, what do you do? I'm like, we still can't do that, because we don't have the staff, the liability. But then, yeah, but then I was like, we should think about a system where neighbors are helping neighbors. So for example, like, because obviously my husband is out all night and day during these storms, and I am not healthy or strong enough to do a lot. My neighbor does at least my sidewalk for us whenever there's snowstorms, because he knows Ed is out and he knows I'm weak. You know, things like that, where if we could have some kind of, let's help each other out, where
High school kids that come around on the snow and ask if,
like, but they,
No,
they're
that kid used to do
yeah.
that. I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid across from me, he'll sometimes do it too, he's in high school.
it's like a brigade going.
But yeah, like kind of like
All the earnings, like everybody burns,
a library of helpers. And then also, people don't wanna help, they could maybe fund money and then say, I'll pay for my high school.
It's not like a neighbor to neighbor sort of
Yeah,
project.
no, it's a huge idea and it's not gonna happen this year.
It happens I mean, it happens on my street. You know, there are people who have snow blowers and shovels and they
We're
were
taking care of, my neighbors,
yeah.
people take care of it.
People take care of neighbors.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Doesn't happen every day.
I mean, there's some municipalities that will, like in New York City, pay people by like hourly after a storm to help with sidewalks or bus stops and things like that. So, you know, that would be a union problem in the future.
Probably.
I would say.
However, if it's a 10-year-old kid going out with a shovel.
So you want to know something?
Yeah.
I mean, we grieve all types.
That's right.
There would be grievances.
Jamie,
Can I, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, yeah.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.